Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. I'm back and I'm here to do a flip through of some spring Easter time journals, all kind of featuring rabbits or bunnies and kind of springtime theme. Each one is very different color scheme and different kind of style, but a few similarities also. So let's see, this one, the very little Rabbit and Peter Rabbit are both golden books, and this one, What's for Breakfast, is a wonder book. And they all have scrappy ties and some either true authentic feed sack fabric on the spine or replica feed sack fabric, but I think these two are definitely authentic feed sack, and this one is just a mixture. And I used feed sack and vintage fabric for the ties as well. So I'll show you the tie, and these ties have been done by many people. The first person I saw do them was Carla Frazell, and I love her work and her style. And so you can kind of see how they fray and they get scrunchy, and you can kind of use this as a tie or do whatever you would like with them. They're just backed with muslin. So lots of pretty fabric colors there. And then, like I said, the spine has some patchwork fabric, and we'll take a peek inside. So there's just a recipe card and a pocket. A lot of the things in these journals are clipped in so that you can do what you want with them and move them around and kind of use them in the way that you want. Like this one, you could make it, glue it down and make it a tuck spot, or attach it with some washi and make it a flip, turn it into a journaling card, you know, lots of different options to do with these. So I did use a lot of paper clips to clip these in, and then most of the elements are stitched around. This is from a vintage book, and it's backed with some cardstock. And we've got a vintage card. That's a playing card. And I have a really old quilt with a lot of feed sack fabrics and vintage fabrics on them, and it's got holes everywhere. It was definitely a cutter quilt, so I cut the pieces out, and I've been trying to use them in different ways. And then a vintage postcard here. There's some tea-dyed paper and a little fabric tab with some buttons. This is some wallpaper. And then this is a tag I made from another quilt that I have, and you can see it. It was very holey, but I think it still has some life, and this is a pretty old quilt, so I thought it would be good to turn it into usable items that we love to use in our junk journals. And I just used some of that same fabric as a ruffle. This is some handmade paper. I didn't make it, but it's kind of a cool texture. And then I also took some of the fabric scraps and made some scrappy flowers. This is a vintage, I think this one was a Sears catalog page, and some more wallpaper, some vintage wrapping paper. This is another tag that I stitched around using a book page. And then this is from an Ideals magazine, Mr. Cottontail's Secret, and on the back is the Easter Bunny Party. So this one could definitely be used all spring, I think. This is a really cute vintage postcard and a recipe card. This one is a fold-out one. And then I did do some snippet rolls with some old fabric and trims. And here's another one of those ruffles with the old quilt. This is a post-it, just clipped in here with a playing card. And I did fussy cut some of the images from, each of the books and use them as decor. That's a vintage ticket, and this is another image from the book, just stitched around. You could add some, let's see, what did I do? I did include this fabric washi tape. that I made. And so, you know, you can take little pieces of this and just kind of use it to decorate little snippets of it, and then use this as like a little tuck spot or a tag or something like that. So that's kind of a fun idea. And another tag, lots of blank space for you to do what you want. If you want to make it a creative journal, or you want to do a lot of writing in it, or collage, or memory keeping, it's kind of, you know, a lot of vintage elements and a lot of elements to use, but it can be used however you want to use it. And this is a offering envelope from the 60s and a vintage postcard. And this is a tag made from some vintage wallpaper and an old postcard. This is just a book page. I did not back this one to any cardstock or anything like that, in case you wanted to fussy cut them out or just use them as part of a collage. I wanted to kind of keep you, or if you want to back it onto cardstock, you can and make a tag. Like, I wanted to try to keep the options open for you. This is a vintage coaster and some stationery, ledger paper, more scrapbook paper, a vintage milk cap, vintage stamp. This is some more wallpaper made into a tag, and a recipe card, a book of saving stamps. There's a few pages here of saving stamps you can use in collage or however you can imagine in a carrot recipe card. And like I've said a lot of times before, if you have a family recipe or a favorite recipe or a recipe that you made or something like that and you want to journal about it, you could do that, or you could just treat this as a journaling card and write about it, write on it, put a picture on the back, use it as a pocket, lots of different things. So a little playing card with a bunny on it there. And some more tea-dye paper. This is a tally card. Another recipe card and a soda label. Postcard. This is a layout from an Easter setup. Let's see, I might have missed that page somehow. I know the other side of it has to be here somewhere, unless oh no, I think I'm in the second signature already. Some more ledger paper, music paper with a playing card, and then this is just clipped on. And then this was a linen that I just cut apart and sewed to some blank paper, so you can write on the back or cut this off and use it in collage or whatever you'd want to use it for. And this is some of the fabric washi that I cut from here. And then this is a seed packet envelope, and I have some seals in here that kind of coordinate. Flowers, birds, animals, Easter bunny, that kind of thing. And another greeting card, more wallpaper, part of an envelope, some of that handmade paper, another book page. This is some hand-dyed paper. I think I might have used fabric dye for this one. And some more tea-stained papers. Another greeting card, another postage stamp. This one I used one of the images for a pocket. I also thought about adding either trim here or some of this fabric washi here to kind of decorate it, but ultimately I ended up deciding to let the future owner decide what to do with that. Some more fabric snippet rolls. And there's fabrics and trims. Some of these are vintage, like I think this one might be feed sack. This one's a replica feed sack. And then just, you know, mixed with newer fabrics. This one's a newer fabric from Hobby Lobby. This is a feed sack fabric. So all just different. And then I used some more of the quilt to make a ruffle here. And this is also part of the quilt. So this is like a jumbo Rolodex card. And it just kind of repeats. Another book page. Some more labels in a library. Catalog card. That's some wallpaper. And a garden card. And then a library card and an index card. And then just a pocket with a milk cap and a ruffle. And that is the end of Peter Rabbit. So he will be available in my Etsy shop if you're seeing this. Or actually, I might be able to post this video on today's Thursday. I might be able to post it tonight, but they will be in my Etsy shop Friday, Good Friday, the Friday before Easter. So I believe that's the 7th. Pretty sure that's April 7th, but they will be in my Etsy shop then. And then what's for breakfast? This one, I love these are using my favorite colors in this journal. This one's very Eastery. The colors on the tie kind of coordinate with the cover, same kind of thing. And then the fabric on the spine. This I left pretty plain. I'll add some extra goodies with this journal so you can continue to decorate it with the kind of in the way that you prefer. Trying to not decorate so much so that the owner can decorate more how they want. You guys let me know if you can in the comments what you think about that. If you like really super decorated, kind of middle decorated, or completely plain. I would love, love, love for you to comment in the comments for that so that I can get your opinion, because I was actually thinking about having, I don't know if this is possible or if I have all these ideas, it's just a matter of time, but I was thinking it would be great to offer 3 separate varieties, like journals that are fully decorated that may be a little bit more expensive, and then kind of middle of the line where I would not really decorate it too much but give you the elements to decorate that kind of coordinate. And then a least expensive option would be just a totally naked journal, so the pages are in there and the cover and the spine, but you know, you use your elements that you want to decorate it, because you know the ephemera is costly and the time to decorate is, you know, pretty involved. So it's just an idea and I would love your comments. Back to this is a vintage doily, a vintage coaster and some little paper doilies. These are great for mounting photos on top of them. And a vintage card, a little fabric ruffle with some buttons, vintage stationery. This is just a book page, and some wallpaper, some music writing paper. It's a pocket with a little card, and then this is also a pocket, and another card and envelope here. This is part of a snippet roll that I just used to make some tabs. Little flower. These are really, really, I love these. Every time I use one, I get a little bit like, oh, I don't know if I want to use it, but I got them to use, so I will force myself to continue using them. But they're these kind of like cardboard paper coasters, and they are so cute. And then this is just a little vintage postcard. This is some hand-dyed paper with, so this one I believe I put a lot of the fabric washi in as decor. I'll probably include some little extra stuff. This is some vintage wrapping paper. And then, like I said, this one, you know, like little Easter bunnies. This one's a little bit more Easter themed, but you could still use it definitely through the spring. Some wrapping paper, another little greeting card, and pretty trims. I put one of the seals on this one. This one will also come with some seals. There's a sewing pattern envelope in this one, and I just backed it with some paper and then made it kind of into a page. So this is one of these chemical engineering index cards, and then a vintage postcard and some money, play money to collage with or decorate. And then this is a vintage greeting card, and I just put a little envelope in here that you could alter, and a little book page image. Another little bunny that I fussy cut. This is a vintage postolette. And type tracing paper that I dyed. Part of the tracing, and then just a fabric ruffle here. Another book page with a little ruffle and a flower. Kind of similar elements. Another recipe card with some snippet roll. And this is a vintage photo. I just added some stickers. I thought they looked kind of dressed up, like they would be going for Easter, going to church for Easter or something like that. And then these are some vintage bond receipts or coupons or certificates, whatever you call those things. And this is another vintage coaster with some more paper that I dyed. Another book page, coloring book page. This is a really cute Easter card that I put in there. Stationery. This is more dyed paper. And then this was from a recipe. I think it was a recipe book page that's, clearly Easter spring themed. And then these little chicks, I love them. And I love the colors. That whole little picture there, that's from an Ideals magazine. And then some vintage stationery and seal. Just decorations, some more dyed paper, and fabric washi. This is another little fussy cut, and a book page image, some wallpaper. This is a poppy seed envelope. I think I might have put the seals in here. Yep, the seals are in here for this one. So similar to the last journal. And that wallpaper, another one of the wallpaper tags. This is a vintage music flashcard from 1952. And then this is just some pretty stationery you can journal on. Another book page. I made a little paper clip here just trying to experiment, and I didn't really like how it turned out, but I stuck it in there, and I thought maybe whoever purchases this would like this, or you could take the beads off and use them for something else. So there's a book page back here. This is some of my favorite trim. It's this little, I don't know, kind of yarn flowers here with some sheer eyelet type fabric. And this is a vintage postcard, library, and another one of those bond things. This is a really cute applique that I was going to put this applique on the library card pocket in the front right here, but then I wasn't sure, again, I just paper clipped it in so you can do what you want with it. And some more of that vintage stationery, a tally card, a vintage postcard. Let's see, some of these are written on, some of them aren't. This one is written on, and another postolette that kind of goes with the colors. So that is the end of What's for Breakfast, and I will go through the Lively Little Rabbit as quickly as I can. So same thing with the tie. Let's see. Coordinates with the cover. They do get kind of wrinkled after I tie them, I see. But you can always iron that out if you want to use it in a different way, or when you retie it, it'll all be kind of wrinkled again. And then this one I did a little bit different. I worked some washi tape and then put it across. Oh, and then very important for this one It does have some red pen marks on the front and on the back. And I was going to cover the back with some scrapbook paper, but excuse me. Pardon me, I'm sorry. This little golden book is one of the really old little golden books. I believe it was from the 40s. Excuse me. I have the cover page that I'm going to send with the copyright for this one, but it was one that had some black and white pages as well as color pages. And so the corners are also a little bit beat up. So for this one, I was going to send some book corners, some metal book corners that if you purchase it and you want me to place them, I would be more than happy, or I can just send them with the book and you can place them. You know, I did cover the insides, so for this, I just left it. A lot of people, including myself, like the front doesn't bother me at all. It just kind of gives it's been well loved, but it's still super cute. So I did want to point out the pen marks on this one. And then I just did a little library card pocket and put a tag in here. And then there's cards clipped in, book pages, stationery, ledger, snippet tabs with buttons, another sewing pattern page or envelope that I converted into a page, and then a snippet roll, postcard, stationery, coloring page. This is some wallpaper with some things clipped in, some more dyed paper, and then that same wallpaper I created into a tag. This is a postcard, post-it note. A little ruffle. This is made from an old sheet. And a recipe card. And then this is really cute. This goes with the stationery in the front of this signature. It's got like a little flower with some dots on it. And then this is a printable. I cannot remember where I got this printable, but I thought she looked like she was ready for Easter. If you see this and you want to know where I got this printable, let me know and I'll try to figure that out. I've had it for a while. And then this is another piece of the quilt that I created into a tag. This is another one of those coasters. A recipe card, a postcard, and a expired check. This one's from 1951. These are fun to collage with. A little vintage cheese label there as a tab. This is so cute, from a recipe book. These little buns that are made in the shape of a bunny. And then this Ideals pages, Easter Parade, and Miss Springtime is on the back. This is a vintage yo-yo, some ruffles, the poppy seed packet. I think I put the seals in a different envelope in this one. And then the little bunny eating the carrot. I made him into a tag. Some vintage trim. And a vintage postcard, recipe card, and more book page images. Oops. I had used in one of my journals that I had used some Amity Bloom printables, and I thought it went really well with that paper, so I stuck it on there as a tab. There are not a lot of printables in these, but I've tried to point out which ones. This is another vintage coaster and a little seed packet. I just stuck some fabric scraps on. This is some vintage, they all have vintage typewriting paper, bond paper in there. Another part of the quilt, a book page. The Sears catalog. And they look like they're in their little Easter dresses. This is a Seal and Send postulette. And then just some more snippet roll and ruffles, fabric tabs. kind of all the same things, but look very different. Apologize for how long this video is turning out to be. Oh, and then this is another printable, this from Amity Bloom, same set as that orange one that I had mentioned. And then another label, and this is a really pretty envelope. Let's see. There was one more printable in here. This is a fussy cut from the book. Oh, this is the other Amity Bloom printable. And I think I put the seals in this little tiny envelope for this one. Yep, the seals are in there. Those are really fun to use. Some more ruffle. This is a little miniature playing card. And here's some extra fabric washi for this one. Again, I'm sorry for how long this video was, and if you have any questions, please let me know, leave a comment, and I will see you again soon. Thank you. Bye.